Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. Anita, Yvonne, and I want to wish you and yours all the happiness that this season can bring. And we really, truly, from the bottom of our hearts, want to thank you for sharing a bit of your days with us for the past 11 months. We have enjoyed it tremendously, and we certainly hope you have as well. This week, we are sharing 4 best episodes that we really enjoy making and listening to, and from what it looks like to us, or have real crowd pleasers. So we thought this might catch up some of the new listeners and give our longtime loyal listeners a chance to revisit with us and listen to our first episode, which is what we're sharing today. It's the About episode. And as you can imagine, it's about us and also why we decided to start the podcast. So it gives you a little background information. Before we get started today, I want to announce the winner of our Jackson Perkins $250 giveaway. It is Julie Briones. We know Julie from reading our blogs, and I believe she is also a podcast listener. So thank you, Julie, for commenting, and congratulations to you. For everybody else, you can still head over to jacksonandperkins.com/DTT, because guess what, guys? They got a big sale going on. So not everybody was as lucky as our winner, but you can still be lucky to get some great things on sale. So thank you to Jackson and Perkins for sharing that wonderful giveaway with our listeners. So I hope that you enjoy getting to know us a little better in the About episode. Here we go. Hey, everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home. We have tips and tricks and decorating advice for you. So let's get started.
Welcome to episode 1 of Decorating Tips and Tricks. We're so excited you're here.
Welcome, everyone.
So excited.
We have been talking about doing this for so long, and I can't believe we're finally starting to do this. And what fun to be doing it with my friends.
I agree.
It's so much fun. But, it took a lot of learning to get to where we are today, to be able to be talking to everyone on a podcast. So
a lot of bloopers.
Yeah. We've had some funny bloopers and whatnot. Maybe we'll share those down the line when we get a little more confidence. But we are thrilled to be here, to be talking to you in this format.
Yeah, and what they're trying to say is that I just messed up, and we're having to redo this a second time because of my little blooper. So they're being very kind. But I've been a podcast listener to so many podcasts for many, many years. And once I discovered them, it was like a whole new world opened up to me. And I love listening to podcasts while I'm driving, doing laundry, doing the dishes. So this was just really a dream come true for me to get to do this and to really create a podcast like the kind that I wanted to hear, because I listened to so many, but I didn't really have any decorating podcasts that I could even find to listen to. Now, there's a few out there now, but we really had a dream of what we wanted to be in the podcast, and that's what we've created.
Yeah, leave it to bloggers and DIYers and decorators to just create what wasn't there. So that's what Decorating Tips and Tricks is all about. We think it's going to be your go-to podcast for information about decorating and spending time with the three of us.
And it's another way that we can reach out to our readers and other podcasters and give them an opportunity when they're on the go doing things like you said, in the car, doing their laundry, exercising, walking, whatever, walking the dog, that we can give them an opportunity to learn right along with us.
Yeah, podcasting is great in that way because it's on your own schedule. We record them, they're in there, and you get to listen to them when it works for you. And you don't have to sit in one place and read something or watch a video. We can walk along with you and your dog, just like Yvonne says. So I think it's going to be terrific.
And we're all passionate decorators. We love decorating, and we all have blogs, and we've learned so much from that we just want to share that with everyone else, because we know that if you're like us, and we bet that you are, you love decorating too.
Well, and I know we're going to have some listeners who have listened to podcasts before and are very familiar with them, but also we're hoping to get some readers of our blogs to listen to podcasts and discover this whole wonderful world of podcast listening.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a whole new connection in a different way. It's just fun to hear the voices of bloggers that you've been reading for years. And maybe a lot of them don't know what great friendships we have developed over the years, and to hear us together. It'd be just like a group of women, and maybe some men too. Maybe Bobby will join us. That's Yvonne's husband, and I think he really wants to be on our podcast.
He does. He thinks he's a star.
See, my husband is like, when I said that to my husband, he was like, he couldn't get away from me fast enough.
Well, Bobby, when we do something together on the blog, he thinks, oh, Yvonne, I'm like a mini star. You talk about me on the blog,
Really? And my husband's like, do not show a picture of me on your blog. Do not show a picture of me.
Well, we're going to forge new connections with our readers, with new podcast listeners, with each other, and maybe even with Bobby. So we're so happy you're joining along with us.
So today is our About Me page, basically. So we're going to just tell you a little bit about ourselves before we get into the decorating tips and tricks, which we're going to start with in episode 2. So today I'm going to talk a little bit with Kelly, and so introduce you to Kelly, and then we'll all be introduced to you. So tell us a little bit about your blog, My Soulful Home.
Well, yeah, I started My Soulful Home and almost exactly 4 years ago. And it's home decorating and design and garden design. I have a fairly heavy emphasis on gardening. I love it. It's my other passion. So I like to give a lot of information along with the pretty pictures. So when someone reads a blog post that I have published, they learn something, and they can take that information and then go implement it in their house or in their garden.
Wonderful. And I know the answer to this, but how do you describe your style?
Well, you two made me come up with a name for my style. So I'm just going to tell everybody that you forced me into it. But we're calling this farmhouse glam. I have recently begun renovating, and I'm actually almost finished already, crazy as it is, a farmhouse, a Victorian farmhouse that was built in 1886, and it needed everything. I won't give you the real name of the former owner, but if anybody had ever seen the show Sanford and Sons,
yes,
you could just liken the previous owner to Fred Sanford. Let's just say he was a collector, aka hoarder of Olympic proportions, and there was a lot going on in this house. So it's changed a lot in the 14 months since we were able to move in. And I wanted to keep true to not only the age of the house, but the style of the house, but obviously give it my own twist and, make it appropriate and comfortable for a family in 2016, 17, and give it a little bling because I'm in LA. So farmhouse glam is what it sort of can be summed up as.
Kelly, I love that, farmhouse glam. May I use that too?
Well, you may use that.
Oh,
of course.
I love
share
that.
everything with you.
Oh,
but are you now going to
beautiful.
change your style to farmhouse glam?
Well, you never know.
You never know. But it's just some words. I mean, your style, and I know we're going to talk about this later on, but your style is sort of bigger than a soundbite. So if Yvonne can incorporate some glam.
Yeah, but
she'll still be her.
I think that's a good description for your style. I like all the mirrored pieces, and I think that kind of works. So, and you said you live in LA or near LA. Tell us where you live and a little bit about your family.
Yeah, I live in Southern California. And I am not from here. I grew up on the East Coast. I'm from New York. My husband's from Virginia. And we moved here about 12 years ago. I came here kicking and screaming because I am a dyed-in-the-wool New Yorker, and I did not want to live in Los Angeles. But honestly, it's been wonderful. And it doesn't feel like, what somebody from another part of the country might think about it as LA. It's where we live in Pasadena is very leafy and green. In fact, I was so struck when I first came here that it looks so much like Westchester County or Connecticut. It's very East Coasty.
See, I picked you all this time for a California girl. So until you told me, I had no idea.
Well, you knew that before right now, but yeah.
But I mean, I just found that out a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm from New York, and I can tell you how I'm from New York whenever you want to talk about it.
Such a good accent. I love it.
Not to bash my New Yorkers, but that's just a little fun. People like that.
Love it.
But no, we love it here, and it's a great place. I mean, when you can be outside and your kids can be outside, like 10 months out of the year, or maybe 12. It just rains a little bit after Christmas, but we've really enjoyed it, and I love living here.
And so, a little bit about your family.
I've been married to Peter for almost 25 years.
Whoa.
And we have 2 girls, and they are 16 and just turned 14.
Wow.
And we have our dog Emmett, who we adore, who we didn't think we ever wanted a dog, and then he came into our lives, and he's brought so much joy to everyone. So now, that's our little family.
Is he the dog? So I just went on your blog and watched your Today Show appearance. Is that the little dog?
That's my little dog. Yeah.
He's so cute.
He is cute.
Kelly, I love when people name their dogs people names. I think that is so cute.
Yeah, well, he's a foofy little dog, that could be a lap dog, but he doesn't think he's a lap dog. So we kind of wanted to give him a name, sounded like a Scottish rugby player or something. So he's Emmett. But he really should be like, Pierre or something, but he doesn't know that.
That is funny. And I know the answer to this, but I think it's very fascinating. What did you do before blogging?
I was a trial lawyer for quite some time.
I love it.
Yeah, after law school, I landed my dream job as a prosecutor in the district attorney's office in Manhattan. So I was a prosecutor there for about 5 years.
So you were taking down the bad guys.
You know it, girlfriend.
Oh, my.
And were you ever afraid that one of them would try to come after you? Because that's what I would be concerned about.
Well, when you first start out, you're doing, misdemeanors, which, I want to say I could probably, I felt I probably could take down somebody who was, jumping the turnstile in the subway or something. But as you work up the ladder and I started doing felony crimes, prosecuting felony crimes, yeah, then you're, you do look over your shoulder. There was one case in particular where the defendant was given bail, which I didn't think he should have been, and he was out during the course of the trial. And so my supervisor called me in and told me I was going to have a police escort for the course of the trial, which was really kind of a sobering thought. Mm-hmm. So I used to walk home, and we lived in Lower Manhattan and Tribeca at the time, and I used to walk home. So I had this fairly nice policeman who would walk me back and forth.
Wow! And then when you got home, he would leave, right?
Yes.
See, that seems a little scary to me.
Well, I lived in a building with a doorman, so it was
that doorman. I'm sure he's packing heat, right?
Everybody's packing heat, So.
Are you in Texas or what?
That's where you're from, Anita.
Yeah. Everybody's got guns here. Giddy up. So,
That's so weird. Okay.
What?
That's so weird. Okay.
What? That everyone in Texas has guns?
Yeah.
Well, it's Texas. Have you not seen the movies?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it's very John Wayne-y, I guess. Yeah.
We have snakes and things here,
Yeah.
You got to be ready.
You got to be ready. And I love that about you. You're always ready.
Okay. So what is your superpower?
My enthusiasm.
You are good. I would agree with that one.
You would? Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some mornings I'm not as enthusiastic as others, but I get it going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel like you're always, if I need to real, pep talk, I think you're there for me.
Oh, well, I am, Anita.
Yeah. So, and what have you learned from blogging? Because I feel like we've all learned so much from doing this because we've been doing it for so long and we do it all day long.
Well, obviously you learn so much about decorating and you evolve and, you learn to be a stylist and a photographer and a webmaster and all the technical things.
But you've got that tech husband of yours who helps you. So
I do have that tech husband.
Envious of that.
I know, but people would think it's kind of like the the cobbler's kids who have no shoes. He's
or
so busy on all his
wife
projects.
Who has a terrible cold.
Oh, Yvonne, are you okay over there?
I am. I just have such a bad cold, and my husband's a doctor, and he brought it home. So,
oh no!
Yes. So no, I'm doing fine. I'm just a little stuffy and sniffly and everything that goes along with that.
Oh,
but
honey.
yeah, like I've got a doctor, and I'm saying, don't you have a pill or something? And he's saying, you got to wait this one through, honey.
Oh no. Well, yeah, it's a similar thing here. Yeah. I mean, if I have a blog disaster, Peter's there, but the day to day, he's certainly not like, ooh, yeah, let me, write that code for you. No, I'm on my own, but it is helpful to have somebody that you can ask questions of. But I think the most important and overarching lesson I have learned from blogging is that there are so many wonderful kindred spirits out there in the world.
Oh, that's
whether it's fellow bloggers like you two, and all the other bloggers that we know and that we're friendly with and we respect their work, and then all the readers and the people who take the time to comment. It's just, to me, just so. It just fills me with so much happiness to know that there are people out there that I'm connecting with through my blog that I never would have come across in the course of my lifetime.
I think you're right about that. And I forget about what it used to be like when I felt like people didn't understand me, because none of my friends really got, local friends really got the whole obsession with decorating things. But once I began blogging and I found these other people that were crazy about decorating a room like me, it felt like I found my people.
Yeah.
It's like finding the mothership. These are my people, lead me to the mothership. And I really felt that way when we go to a blogging conference.
Oh, yes.
And then, because I have wonderful friends who are very supportive and family members that are very supportive, but day to day, they don't get what I do. It's like, why can't I call you at 10 o'clock in the morning? Well, because I'm we're taping this, or, I've got a phone call or whatever. And when I go to a blogging conference, it's like, okay, these are my people. Everybody understands each other. And it's just like a big sorority of nice girls.
It is.
Oh, isn't it nice? And we're going to have our own sorority of nice girls and maybe some guys right here on the podcast. It's just another place where we can come together, people that have similar interests, and we can learn from each other and share and have some laughs and, make our homes more beautiful along the way.
I'm looking so forward to that.
Oh, I am too. And we're going to have the call-in number, which we'll have in the show notes. So people can call in with topics they want to cover or questions they have. So I'm pretty excited about that too. All right. You ready for the lightning round, Kelly?
Sure.
Okay. Short answers.
Okay. I'm not good at short answers.
Okay, you can do it. I know you can do it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I used to get paid by the word. Isn't that what they say about lawyers? So, I'm sticking a few extra ones in here and there.
She's short word challenged. Is that the way we say it?
I'm going to try.
Okay. All right. Favorite comfort food?
Mashed potatoes.
Food you won't eat?
Haggis. I was made to eat it once, and I would never do it again.
Yeah. Have to agree with that one. Dream vacation spot?
I had been promised a month in Tuscany quite some time ago, and so I would either take a month in Tuscany or the south of France. It'd be fine. I'm not going to even have to choose one. Either one would be fine.
All right. I like that. Your favorite TV show?
I don't watch that much TV, but if I was going to watch TV, there's, it's called Prime Suspect. And it's with Helen Mirren. And honestly, I think I could watch that woman brush her teeth. I just think she's a great actress. So Prime Suspect, I would recommend it. It was made maybe 10 years ago, but it's great.
That's the lawyer in you.
Yeah, that's right. Favorite movie?
Room with a View
Oh, love that
or
one.
Mamma Mia, because I could watch Mamma Mia with my girls and dance around. I could
Oh,
probably
how
watch
fun.
it
That's
10
a
times
great
over.
one, too.
Mhm.
I love that one, too. Your favorite song?
That is the toughest one. I don't know. How did someone pick their favorite song?
I know.
Okay,
was me.
I'm
That
going
was
to
me.
say Summer Wind because it reminds me of my mom.
Oh. Favorite quote?
Okay, I pinned this one not too long ago, so let's see if I can remember it. I wrote it down because I liked it so much. In a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind.
I like that
that's right.
one.
That's right.
Celebrity crush?
I have this thing for Johnny Depp. I don't know, not when he was
Like as the pirate Johnny Depp?
Willy Wonka.
Edward Scissorhands?
Not Edward
Okay.
Scissorhands. I know when you think about like how would you think that was like, but there's something about him. Yeah, I like the whole pirate thing, but I just
Yeah.
like he's like a little edgy, you know.
is edgy.
He used to go out with Kate Moss, so I mean, like she wasn't after the Edward Scissorhands aspect of him either. So as you can tell, I cannot just give you a straight short answer. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, that was great. That's awesome. Thanks, Kelly.
Sure. Okay, well, Yvonne, I'm sorry you don't feel well, but I'm going to
I
ask you all
know.
these questions anyway.
I'm happy to answer.
Okay, so tell us about Stone Gable for the 3 people in the world that don't know about Stone Gable blog.
Oh my goodness. Stone Gable is a home and garden lifestyle blog. And I've been blogging for 7 years now. Can you believe it?
No.
And Stone Gable started off, my daughter had just gotten married right out of college, and she moved away. Her husband took her away. So I know.
Wait a minute.
I know.
Okay, there's a story in there. Her husband took her away.
I know. They moved to a different city, and she would always call me and say, like, Mommy, how did you make that? Or Mommy, how did you paint that piece of furniture? Or how did you arrange that? So I found out about this wonderful world of blogging and thought, you know what? I'm going to start this and pour all my very best into this, just like I'm going to pour into her life, like as if I were there. And it just caught on. And I get up every morning and think I'm the luckiest person on earth to do this because I love it. I am so passionate about what I do, and I'm passionate about my readers and fellow bloggers. So really, I'm blessed. I'm so
That's so
blessed.
And that comes through in your blog.
Thank you.
It's just like a warm hug.
Oh, thank you. That's what I want. Great.
No, I remember when I first, sort of met you through blogging, and I read that post about when you started your blog for Jackie, and that just, I was in hook, line, and sinker at that point, and it's only gotten better and better and better and better and better.
Well, there's been a very steep learning curve. If you go to one of my first posts called How to Make Baked Oatmeal, because my daughter loves it, I put it on the counter in a glass, a one that's been used over and over that you can't scrape all the gook out of it, glass 9 by 13 pan, and to style it, I put a tea towel by it,
Oh my gosh.
So it's come a long way. Yeah.
So tell us about you. Now we talked about a little about Jackie. Tell us about your family.
Oh, okay. Well, I live here at Stone Gable with my husband, Bobby.
Woohoo, Bobby!
Mm-hmm.
We love Bobby.
Well, yeah, everybody loves Bobby. And Bobby just supports what I do 1,000%. And anytime I mention him on the blog, he thinks like he's a mini celebrity, which cracks me up. Like he said, Yvonne, do you think all the guys could do a podcast like, the guys tell all? And, I just crack up. But he really is very supportive. And we have our children now are edging out of their 20s into their 30s. And I have 2 children, my son Christopher, my daughter Jacqueline. They're both married. Jackie and her husband Jonathan live in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, which is a blast. And they just we just had our first grandbaby. We have little Anderson. He's
so
3
yummy.
weeks yesterday or 2 days ago. And my son and his wife live in Lancaster where we live, and they're expecting a little girl in June. So we're so excited.
I didn't know that. Exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And I wasn't really into the whole grandbaby stuff because I was so busy just, blogging and doing all these other things.
Going to last.
And I said, when they have it, it'll be fine. I'm not in any hurry. It's like it's a whole nother world you have to look forward to. It's just wonderful.
Oh, how exciting.
But they don't call me grandmom. I'm way too hip for that. I'm Gigi.
You're Gigi. Well, that's what my kids call my mom Gigi.
Yeah.
So it's a very hip name.
Yeah. I like, it matches my personality a little better.
I think it does. Now, grandma does not suit you, my friend. Okay, so what did you do before blogging?
I did a lot of things, but I was a teacher. That's what I went to school for. And I taught first. I taught fifth grade first, and then my passion was primary, so I taught first grade. And people would say, well, what do you do for a living? And I would say, well, I work where 25 people love me all day long.
I love that.
Nice work if you can get it, right?
It's wonderful. Yeah. But when I had my children, I waited quite a while before I had my children, and I stopped teaching. And then I just did all kinds of things. I sold all kinds of things. And then I worked at the last job I had, I worked at my husband's office. And I was like a liaison between the doctor and the insurance companies. So don't get me started on that.
I want you to share what you would say when the kids would come to you.
I will, but that's my favorite quote.
Oh, okay.
I'll share that in favorite quote.
Oh,
okay.
Well then, hey, how about I ask you, Yvonne, what is your favorite quote?
This is the lightning round. Okay. My favorite quote is, now I have to couch this. When I was teaching, if somebody would come up to me and like their paste was dry or they had ripped the paper.
I hate when my paste is dry.
I know, but when you're 6, you may hate that. So when these dear little babies would come up to me and say, crying, and they have something wrong, and I would say to them, you don't need to cry. There's nothing worth crying about in first grade. We can fix everything.
I love that.
And you really can. You can make it a very happy, warm, accepting, loving place where a lot of learning takes place.
But isn't that what everybody should make the entire world? A happy, loving place where a lot of learning takes place.
Yeah, well, right now it's sort of not like that, but that's exactly what we want from our podcast, girls.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. There's nothing worth crying about. Come spend 30 minutes with us.
That's right. And we'll talk about how not to get your paste to go dry.
That's
exactly.
Right.
Well, do you have hot glue guns in Texas too? Or just regular guns? Because that's just perfect. Okay. Yvonne, what's your superpower?
I have 2, so I'm going to share 2. I have the ability to see beauty in almost anything.
Oh, I like that.
And make things pretty. I've always been like that. I can just look at something and sort of rearrange it or reshuffle it or redo it and make things pretty. And I love a beautiful world. Obviously, there's a lot of beauty in the world that people miss. So I like to make things beautiful. And the other thing is I think my superpower is encouraging. Yeah, I want to tell everyone, you can do it. Whatever your it is, you can do it. And I think a lot of people get stuck or frightened to do things. And I think it's so important to have that attitude. Like just, you can do, if you really want to do something, you can do it. If you have enough passion, just go for it.
Well, I think that's so true. And I mean, look at what we've done just here. And I'm not patting us on the back. I'm just using it as an example. We wanted to start a podcast. We had no idea how to make a podcast. And so now we're making a podcast. And, maybe some people will listen to it, and maybe a lot of people, and people will be able to hear words like that, like you can do it, and concrete tips and all the things that we're going to be sharing. So I think that's a wonderful attitude, and I definitely, that emanates from you.
Oh,
so
good.
It's a wonderful quality that you have.
And I think we really want to do that on this podcast. We're going to talk a lot about decorating, give tons of tips, ways to do things, decorating advice. And we just want to say to you, you can do this. It's something that anybody can do, and we'll be right there cheering you on and walking you through it.
Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about. Visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order.
Well said.
What has blogging taught you?
Oh my goodness. Oh, blogging. I would have to spend like 12 episodes, but I'll pull one thing out. And first of all, if anyone wants to start a blog, you should just do it. It's such a wonderful experience. But I started blogging like close to middle age. And I had never done this before, and I just went ahead and did it. Like I said, I wanted to do it for my daughter, and I remember the first time I pushed the publish. On my first blog, it was like I was pushing that atomic bomb button, in football. I was like sweating. My palms were sweaty. I was shaky.
And two people saw it then, right?
Yeah. But then I had 3 comments, and I was like, oh my gosh, they found me, And it was a little
3
scary.
comments from the beginning? I think I took me a year to get 3 comments.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, I just want to tell people, you are never too old, never too young to do something you want to do. And let me tell you, if I can do it, anybody can. And that's the biggest thing, blogging. I was told, I sat in a meeting with a lot of people and a lot of editors from magazines, and they said, if you are not about 40, and I think you were there, Anita, if you're not around 45 years old and you don't have a young family, you'll never be in a magazine. Not so. I've been in magazines.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in 2 upcoming magazines.
Yep.
Don't let people, even people in the industry, if somebody's going to say no, you just have to think of another way to do it.
That whole magazine thing, we heard that you had to be young, and we also heard that once you've been in one magazine, you're not going to be in another one. And I've been in 21 magazines. So.
I know.
Well,
you're like the magazine queen.
And I'm way over that, age. So anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just whatever age you are, if there's something you want to do, you can do it.
Excellent advice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do the lightning round.
Well, I want to tell people what would surprise them about me.
Oh, right.
I'm going to usurp that and just tell that because I've been thinking about that. And especially, when I'm writing and things, my formative years, I lived abroad. I lived in England and Scotland and England.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm, and I went to an all-girls Scottish boarding school in Edinburgh.
Oh my goodness!
Did not
good
know
stuff.
that.
Oh, Anita, I thought you knew everything about me. Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, where did you grow up besides that? Just all overseas?
No. My father was in the Air Force, and I was born in Maryland. I grew up in my grandmother. My mom's from Pennsylvania, so when my daddy went he went to Wakkanai, Japan during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was really tiny, but we had to go. We lived with my grandmother, so that was sort of our base. We've lived in California. I lived there for 6 years.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. Then we went to. We lived in Scotland. And then we moved to England, and then in between my semester wasn't done, so my parents said, I went to this gorgeous, amazing all-girls academy in Edinburgh, Scotland, where it was really a big castle, and you go in through a little door and all. I mean, it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Marble,
I love
everything
Edinburgh.
was oh, it's gorgeous. And so I went to boarding school there. And because I had an American accent, I had to take elocution.
Oh, how funny.
Because I did not speak the King's English. And I took botany and English and Scottish history and did all very, very refined curriculum. I took italicized writing. And then we moved from England. After we moved to Scotland, we moved to England. Then we moved to Del Rio, Texas on the Acuna-Mexico border. And then finally we moved back to Pennsylvania when my father retired out of the Air Force. And I was told in high school, I wanted to be a teacher. They said, you'll never be a teacher. You don't know enough American history or American culture. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
And I did it. See, this is what I'm telling you. Don't let people tell you can't do it. So it was really, that was a very formative part of my life.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to know all of that.
And it was so awesome. It was such an awesome life. And I'm very, 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 very patriotic because I've seen it from the inside and growing up as a child.
Wow. And I'm conjuring this image of that castle school that
Oh,
you went to, and I love what I'm seeing in my head right now.
But the neat thing is when I was in England, we had I went to a base school that had a sister school that was a British school, and we would travel. We went everywhere. We went to all the historic sites, Cambridge, so many places in London. We would study Shakespeare and then go to the theater at Stratford-on-Avon and actually see the plays. So I've had such an interesting sort of chopped up education, but I think it served me well.
How fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, after all that, I don't know. Asking you your favorite comfort food seems a little dull,
my
but I'm going to ask you.
It's good old American Lancaster County stuffing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you won't eat?
Peas. Ooh.
Yvonne.
Well,
peas.
again, boarding school, they make very mushy peas.
Mushy
They're known,
peas.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I lived in England for a while, and they used to call them Grimsby peas, and they're big and sort of pasty. Yuck. Okay, dream vacation spot.
Well, it's funny that you said, I think the south of France. I would like to live there for a month.
Okay.
And actually, I think that might be in the works.
Maybe so.
Do we say it now?
No. Don't jinx
Okay.
it.
No, I don't
Favorite
say
TV show?
Fixer Upper.
Fixer Upper, nice.
Yeah, and I love Chip and Joanna, just their relationship and how sweet they are, as much as I love what they do.
Dude, they are nothing like Yvonne and Bobby. Okay? Just saying. They got nothing on Yvonne and Bobby.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Okay, favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
I love those
we need to have a movie marathon.
Oh my goodness. I love
Sense
those
and
period
Sensibility.
pieces.
Hey, there's some app or something that my daughter was telling me about where several people, you can watch a TV show or something or a movie together, but you can also see a little video of each person watching the show together.
Oh,
Oh my God.
how far we have come.
Wow.
I'll have to find out what it is.
Yeah.
Find out what that is. Can I be in my pajamas? Is that okay? Okay, favorite song.
My favorite song is Amazing Grace.
Okay. You want to sing a little bit?
No. Oh, gosh. Of all the things that I've been given in life, a singing voice is not one of them at
I was
all.
holding the door when they gave that out too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so frustrating when you know all the words. I just get in my car and sing by myself. Okay,
Some days I think I sound wonderful, but it's usually the days like today I have a head cold. For some reason, I can't hear myself, so I think I sound much better than I actually do.
Okay, well, we already had your quote, which was fabulous. Now, give us your celebrity crush. As long as Bobby's not
I've
in
been
the room,
thinking
you can tell
about
us.
this. I don't have one. I really don't. I'm not crushing on anybody right now.
Oh,
I like Chris Pratt only. No, I'm not crushing on him, but I like him because my son's name is Christopher and our last name is Pratt.
well,
Yvonne.
that's easy to remember.
I know. I said to him, well, he said, Mom, every time I say my name, I get it. I said, I'm sorry, son, because you're Christopher, and it's just one of those weird things. So yes. Well,
with a guy like Bobby right there, how can you even have a celebrity crush? Forget it. Yvonne, I so enjoyed learning all of that about your growing up and your education and overseas. So
yeah, it was really an adventure to say the least. But now let's talk to Anita. Anita, I know a lot about you, so I want to learn something new today. You blog at Cedar Hill Farmhouse. Beautiful, beautiful blog. You do true French country styling like nobody else does. It's just amazing. Thanks. Tell us a little more about your blog.
Well, and I'm going to say that it is really an updated version of country French style because it's not really true traditional country French because traditional country French has lots of colors in it that I don't really use. So I kind of tone it down with more neutrals and nubby fabrics and grain sacks and homespun linens. So, but it is definitely a very French look, and then with the farmhouse brought in.
And that's why I love it so much, Anita.
Oh, thank you.
How would you? I would say it's French country, but upscaled. How do you describe your style?
Well, I call it farmhouse French because I see it as a mix of high-end French antiques and low-end rustic farmhouse things. So it's not everything is not necessarily from France, or it's not necessarily supposed to be from France. And that's kind of why I created my own style, because I didn't want to be picked apart and somebody saying that's not really part of country French style. So I just created my own thing called Farmhouse French, and I get to decide what goes in it. I mean, I literally wrote the book on it, so I can do whatever I want with it, I figure.
And
she
Anita,
really did. She really wrote the book on it.
And that's what's so attractive, that it has this rustic luxe mix that is so beautifully done.
Oh,
and I'm not just saying that because we're on a podcast. I truly mean that.
I know, you're so sweet.
Well, I want you to tell us a little about your family and where you live.
Well, I'm going to say that I was born in Oklahoma and my dad worked for an oil company. So we lived several places, which is why I don't have a Texan accent. This is because I actually grew up some in New Jersey, near New York City, and also in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So we were kind of near Lancaster County.
Close to me. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't make it to Texas until I was 15. But we do live in Houston, and we live in this great neighborhood in Houston called the Heights, and it's a neighborhood that's over 100 years old. There's a few original Victorian homes here, but it's mainly original craftsman-style homes, which were popular around the turn of the century. And there's a lot of really cool restaurants and things here, and I was trying to figure out how to describe it to a friend recently, and I looked on Yelp at this restaurant nearby, and it said that the atmosphere was hipster. So I'm thinking that's what my neighborhood is called. It's hipster.
Okay.
You're thinking you're hipster. All right.
As long as I'm not a hipster doofus, I'm okay, right?
Let me tell you, we have a very big hipster population here in Lancaster County. Very artsy, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so we live in Houston, and we've got a farm out in Round Top, which is where the antique show is, the big antique show, and where I know both of you are going to come visit me one of these days.
It's on my bucket list. Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Anita, I am so fascinated with what you did before blogging, because it is so totally left brain, and you're a very creative person. So tell our listening audience, what did you do before you started your blog?
Well, I was an engineer, of course, right? It's very left.
That's right. Yeah, very left brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but in my defense,
It's fabulous that you're an engineer.
try going up to somebody in a dinner party and telling them you're an engineer and see if they stick around. They take a beeline away from you because they think you're going to talk about boring, thermodynamics and stuff. But I wanted to be an artist when I was little. And I told my dad, I just had these bright eyes and I was like, I'm going to be an artist, Daddy. And, he just looked at me and said, okay, but you're going to end up in a van down by the river. There's going to be holes in the wall. You're going to be stuffing them with dirty newspaper. And I knew I could not live in a dirty, ugly van. So it was my love.
Know thyself.
So it was in my love of beautiful interiors that made me decide that I was going to go into engineering so I could afford a pretty house.
Oh, isn't that funny? I didn't know that.
That's actually true. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're sort of backwards. So your love of beautiful design forced you to become an engineer.
That's right.
I love that, how life makes those turns and circles.
It's weird. But I had, I became a mom after working as an engineer and a consultant for a while. And my first child, as you both know, has Down syndrome. But she had all these health issues and I was traveling. And I realized that I just, what really mattered was taking care of my family. And I just couldn't do both in my situation. And I think you can work and be a good mom. But I just had lost my desire for my career at that point. It just was, I just really puts things in perspective. So I stayed home with my kids and then kind of created these little entrepreneurial things while I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a portrait photography business that I created and had fun with. And then I worked at a furniture store and I just did a little bit of this and that. And
Anita, you are one of the most entrepreneurial person I know.
Oh, thanks.
I just can't believe what you try and get your hands into. It's awesome. I mean, I so admire you for that. You've done so many things.
Well, I had an online photography class even for a while, but it was a little too soon for the market, and that's why I thought I couldn't be an entrepreneur because it bombed. And I thought, well, I guess I can't be an entrepreneur. Little did I know that that's an important step along the road, that you have to have these failures. That's how you learn how to, come up with a great business. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
you learned a very big lesson. What is your superpower?
Well, I wish I could say, I do love to encourage people, but you've already said that one. So
that's okay. We can share that one.
Okay, we can share that one. But I would say also just an ability to block out the noise and just put my head down and work.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
You get the job done, sister. Oh, my. I mean,
you're always like 10 steps ahead of me. I'm going,
honestly, like a thought comes out of somebody's mouth, and then she's got an email outlining the entire thing in your inbox
exactly
before
right.
you finish saying the sentence. It's crazy. I love it.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's been helpful to you.
Very helpful. A little intimidating, but very helpful.
No,
right.
It's not meant to be.
Once you get over being afraid of you, it's great.
Oh, stop it.
I'm joking.
We're teasing.
I'm joking.
What has blogging taught you?
It taught me that I went from knowing nothing about blogging. I didn't really know anything about interior design. I just loved it. And so what it taught me is that you can start with nothing and create something. That if you can dream it, you can do it. And
so true.
And you don't have to be somebody. You don't have to know somebody. You don't have to have money. And you can start a blog, an Instagram account, a YouTube channel with nothing. I mean, just
That's
your
exactly
phone
right.
and an internet connection.
Right. And your passion.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Your desire. Desire takes you a long way. What one thing would people be surprised to know about you?
I kind of blab everything on my blog, so I don't feel like I have too many secrets left. I probably should keep my mouth shut more.
But what?
So I probably the only thing people don't know about me is that I have a motorcycle license.
No
What?
way.
Oh my goodness. I don't know that. That's
Vroom, vroom. Oh my God, I love it.
Well, I mean, but I didn't say I have a motorcycle because I don't have one anymore because I am no longer.
Anymore. Okay.
oh my gosh,
that infers
motorcycle
you had
babe, I
one at
love
some
it.
point.
I'm not allowed to ride one anymore because I apparently they are seen as unsafe by my husband. So
I think he doesn't stand alone in that.
Yes, exactly.
I still want. See, now I want a
love
Vespa,
that.
but you know.
Oh, I want a Vespa too.
I know. See.
But I don't know how to drive it. So I just sit on the back of yours, okay?
Okay. You girls want a Vespa and I want a Segway. That's where I
No, okay, that is not hipster.
am. No, I know. But I mean, isn't that cool?
Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Well, couldn't we get one of those cars with the sidecar? So
I'm not. No. I want to drive my own. But I think that is so cool.
Control freak.
But that's adorable. Listen, we're going to go into the lightning round right now.
Okay.
And so here we go. Favorite comfort food?
Sweet potato fries.
Food you won't eat?
Liver.
Oh, liver's delicious.
Okay.
Well, after you finish
Well, hey,
these,
I've lived in
we'll give you
England.
some
What can I
liver.
say? Dream vacation spot.
Well, interestingly enough, I told my husband about a month ago that I wanted to spend a month in the south of France.
Let's make that happen. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it. Hey, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Right, we have
That's
to
what
take
I
our own
said.
advice there.
Yeah. Favorite TV show?
I'm going to say Friends because it's just so fun and it's something that I watched with my daughter.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so
fun.
sweet.
Yeah, it was fun.
Favorite movie?
For a long time, it's been Out of Africa, but I love all those period pieces. I don't know. They're just, I don't know, just a romantic deep down. And I love
those too. Favorite song?
You know, I had a problem with this one too. I mean, I love all that, the 80s stuff, Journey, Fleetwood Mac, but I love Taylor Swift and country music and bluegrass. And I even love this group called Chanticleer, and they do like Gregorian chants and things. So it's a weird assortment.
So a motorcycle driving, Gregorian chant listening, decorator, former engineer,
blogger podcaster.
I love it.
There you
You're
go.
making me sound like a freak.
No, you sound awesome.
You are the every woman. You're fabulous.
That's exactly right. Hey, do you have a favorite quote?
I do. It's never too late to be who you might have been, and George Eliot said it.
That is
Who was
really
a woman,
awesome.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people don't know that was a woman.
Tell us about that.
About the quote or about George Eliot?
About George Eliot.
Well, I mean, she was a woman in the 1800s. And, back then when women wanted to be authors, that really was frowned upon. So they a lot of times had a nom de plume. They just went by another name. And for some reason, I think she decided a man's name would be more acceptable, that her work would be taken more seriously. So.
Oh, wow.
And then later on, George Sand, who was a French woman, also took up the same idea and went with a man's name. And I think they both dressed as men too.
Wow, because during that age, that was not acceptable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Celebrity crush.
Oh, Sam Heughan. He's a cutie.
He is a cutie.
My husband knows too. It's okay.
It's okay. Kevin's okay with that.
He's okay. I'm sure he has one too.
All righty then. So today has been terrific. I really enjoyed learning even more about the two of you.
So I think we're done for today. So remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home.
Until next time, thanks so much for listening.
Hey everybody, we want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.